Favorite Take Lessons shirt.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so it looks like we are officially live here. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our AMA. This is an exciting AMA here because we have a special guest. Just to start off with intros, my name is Michael. I'm one of the admin and moderators for the Facebook community, as well as many other hats throughout Take Lessons. Been with the Take Lessons for about 8 years now, moving on 9 years at this point, and super excited to kind of do these community opportunities where we can really address concerns and talk about a lot of the things that have been going on. Joined by me today is our PM for group classes, Clarissa. Clarissa, go ahead and say a little bit about yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Clarissa, and I've been with Take Lessons for just over 5 years now. I joined Take Lessons as a support representative, but as Michael mentioned, since the acquisition, my focus is growing our group class catalog. Since I've started, I've taken 26 private lessons, 111 group classes in Spanish, Korean, French, and ukulele. And now I kind of want to take public speaking. So nice to meet you all.
Excellent, excellent. We love an employee who eats the dog food that we sell. So love to see people taking classes, and seems like you're headed for that polyglot goal of French, Korean, Spanish, all those languages there. So that's awesome to see. Um, awesome. So just a quick, before we get into the questions here, I just wanted to go over a quick mention. We definitely know that there's a lot of feedback going around about the Take Lessons Live Studio. If you taught Take Lessons Live Studio in January, you should have received an email regarding the January payout, addressing some of the concerns that were voiced in the Facebook community over the past week. In addition, there's also a Facebook post regarding the same thing. If you have any clarifying questions or you just need a little bit more information, please feel free to reach out to us via email. Partnercommunity@takelessons.com is the best email to reach out to for those questions, concerns, and things of that nature. Awesome. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and move on to our first question here.
All right, I'll go ahead and take this one, Michael. How long will subscription-based students for group classes still be on the platform? When will you transition more into paid classes for group lessons? And how do we calculate our earnings for these? So we're moving subscription-based students over in waves. Last month, we notified all students who joined Take Lessons Live before January 18th that their free membership will end soon. Those folks will lose access to their unlimited membership later this evening, but they can continue taking group classes with the new pay-per-class model. And then for all students who registered for classes scheduled after that account update, those classes will remain on their schedule and no a la carte registration fee is required. So it's a little bit more of a smooth transition for those users. And then for all students who joined Take Lessons Live after January 18th, they'll switch over to the a la carte experience on March 13th. So at that point, all free US-based users will be moved over to a la carte. The only students remaining are Take Lessons Live, our English as a second language learners from Latin America, and paid subscription holders. The transition date for those users will be announced at a later time. And then to address the third question, for each paid student registration, you earn 90% of the rate you set while creating a class. So if the price is $10, you earn $9 per paid student. Of course, unless the student cancels with more than 24 hours notice preceding the class.
Excellent. Lots of info on that one. So
Yeah.
great, some great dates to share. I'm sure that a lot of people are happy to have some solid timelines on that. So thank you so much for sharing that. We'll move on to the next question here. So it says, I'm confused between registered and paid students. Do we get paid when a student pops into the group class, or is there a certain amount of time the student needs to be in the class? So to address the first question there, a registered student is anybody who registered with the Take Lessons Live membership. So just as Clarissa mentioned, the ones that are going to be remaining are ESL LATAM students, as well as paid subscriptions for Take Lessons Live. Those are what we're referring to when we say just registration. If you see that it says paid student, that's a student who came in through the pay per class model or the a la carte payment model. Those are the ones who pay the price per class that you set, and you'll make 90% of that rate. So that's the main difference between those two specific types of students on your calendar. As far as do you get paid if a student pops into a group class? The answer is yes. If somebody just pops in for 30 seconds or a minute just to kind of see how it is and then decides to pop out, we do count that as an attendance. So that will be counted towards your payment for the month. Awesome. And then next question here, we've got, looks like it's regarding Zoom, so I'll let Clarissa handle that one.
Cool. The question is, what plans do you have to counter the ability for students to share classroom links on platforms such as Zoom? This can allow students to bypass being charged for a class. So just to add a little context, last year we enabled teachers to schedule group classes using custom URLs, which was a common request from teachers who prefer to use Zoom or Google Teams. We also launched a new feature where you can schedule up to 10 classes at a time. The disadvantage with the custom URL is only a single link can be plugged in per submission, so your 10 weekly classes could have the same URL. This leaves your upcoming events susceptible to so-called Zoom bombers. The student has to be pretty clever to figure this out, but we've received a couple reports. We can't really do much about this to avoid this from happening unless you create a new custom URL for every single class that you schedule. But we do have this really cool option called Teams, which creates a unique URL for you automatically. Some of my favorite features of Teams are emoji reactions, transcripts in various languages, and the video pin feature.
Excellent. And I think with that one, we also have a quick follow-up question here. Will you eventually get rid of the ability to teach on outside platforms such as Zoom, Skype, or Google Teams?
Yeah, so the custom URL will remain available even after we remove TakeLessons Classroom later in February. We want you to use the tools that you're most comfortable with, but we'll always recommend using Teams.
Yeah. Well, we always like the eat our own dog food type of thing. So of course we're going to recommend Teams, but the custom URLs are something that's always going to be around. Like Clarissa said, we want you to feel comfortable when you're teaching these group classes, and that means you're on a different platform. So be it. That's okay with us. Excellent. And then next question here. When the TakeLessons classroom is completely phased out and replaced by Teams, what will happen to the old classes that were scheduled on the TakeLessons classroom? Will they need to be recreated for Teams? This is a great question. The answer is no, they will not need to be recreated in Teams. When we switch fully to Teams, anything that is left on TakeLessons Classroom will be allowed to stay on TakeLessons Classroom. Starting February 20th, so this coming Monday, TakeLessons Classroom will no longer be an option when you're scheduling group classes. But like I said, any classes that have already been scheduled on TakeLessons Classroom will still be allowed to take place. So eventually they'll phase out since you're not able to use that as an option anymore. Again, that is starting Monday, February 20th is when that will go in place. Great questions. I love that. And then I believe this next one here is a little bit similar. When we switch to Teams, will students who attend group classes receive a transcript of all the notes that teachers type into the chat? Can we annotate on Teams and save those notes for students? It will not. At this time, we're not able to transfer the transcripts automatically. One of the features of Teams is that you have file management ability if you download the Teams app, so you can still manage your files and whatever is shared with students through that file management system, but there's no way to sync it with the TakeLessons system at this time. Might be something that we get done in the future, but it's a little bit complicated, so we just kind of have to work through a lot of kinks before we're able to get that in place. Great question, great question. On to the next one here. Go ahead and handle this one, Clarissa.
All right, so the question is, will you be implementing a minimum number of students per class? Teaching only one student is like teaching a private student. So this is a great segue to an update that will be coming soon. So if you've created a new group class recently, you will see that you can start entering your preferred class size, including a minimum registration number. One email improvement coming soon will be to include the number of paid registrations and your set number of minimum registrations in group class reminder emails. That way you can review the event performance in advance and determine if it's best to cancel. As a reminder, you can customize your notification settings in your account to receive them at your preferred frequency. Also, the attendance rates for paid signups are much higher than subscribers, so both of these efforts will help you more accurately predict your earnings and attendance moving forward.
Excellent. And then let me just do a quick time check here just to make sure that we're all on schedule. We've got 41, so we've got 19 minutes left. Plenty of time. Awesome. Next question here is, what is being done to help retain these students who can't afford to pay per class? This is a question that comes up quite often. Just as a reminder, you are in complete control of the rate that you set for group classes. Do keep in mind that there are competitor websites out there who charge much, much more than we do. We often see $20 to $25 per class on competitor websites. So giving you the control to really set the price to what you need it to be is completely in your hands. Additionally, giving them a great experience is the number one best way to keep them coming back for more. So when the question is retention, the experience is what matters most there. The price is what they're going to pay to get in there, but as long as the experience is great and it's worth that price, they're going to keep coming back for more. From time to time, we may offer promotions to attract students to the classes so that you can really get that chance to shine. But that is something that you can help with as well as far as retention goes, is just make sure that they have the best experience possible. All right. And then on to the next question here. Go ahead and handle this one, Clarissa.
Sure. And to add to that last question, we do have a teacher training scheduled later in March with tips on how to retain students in the class. So keep a lookout for that invite. The next question is, group class attendance appears to be way down. Do you have a secondary plan if the new group class pay-per-class option doesn't work out? So at this time, we are fully invested in the pay-per-class model. For the best chance of success, we recommend scheduling your classes in advance. This increases your chances to be included in marketing opportunities this spring, and we'll cover those a little bit later in this presentation.
Excelente. And then on to the next question here. Exactly how much are we being paid per student, per lesson, and per video? So this one was addressed in the email that we sent out earlier today. The Facebook post mentioned that the email was a little bit more detailed, so I would recommend checking that out. That has some details about the pay per student and everything like that. As far as the videos go, we are still working on the video experience, so you'll get an update about that later this month. When it comes to the additional payment for January email, on the 22nd, you should receive something then regarding video views. And then on to the next question here. After this transition period, is Microsoft planning to do regularly scheduled updates, or will there be frequent surprises as improvements are made? So the simple answer is yes. There will still be continuous updates and improvements to the site, whether that's in your account or on our home pages. There's a lot of moving parts going on at the same time. And one thing that I can say for certain is that a lot of it's going to change. We will do our best to make sure that you're updated in advance to ensure that these are no longer surprises for you per se. So we will dedicate ourselves to making sure that those communications are really in place. Some of the places that we frequently communicate are through the blog page. The provider updates blog is always updated twice a month. We have our provider emails that go out twice a month as well that make sure that you're updated, as well as continued events like this, where we'll make sure to update you video to video, person to person in a live setting, just so you're getting the information hot off the press, so to speak. If there's any way that we can improve and make those communications more apparent, definitely make sure to reach out to us and give your suggestions. We'd love to hear those and explore new opportunities to reach out to teachers, and we like to call it meet them where they are. So we definitely want to do that for you all, and let us know if we can improve on that. Next question here. Any chance we will have more visibility or additional information surrounding our metrics? I am happy to report that yes. as you may have seen in previous provider updates, we are working on revamping the teacher experience, and the metrics and insights page is something that is included in those updates. Our teams are deep into the design aspect of this work right now, so you should expect to see some changes at least before the summer, if not sooner than that. Excellent. And then let's see here. This one, I believe, is yours, Clarissa, so go right ahead.
Oh, before we move on, I am really excited for our team to show you the new designs for the Insights page. It doesn't only cover metrics for your private lessons, but also group classes and videos too. All right, so next question. Exactly what marketing efforts is TakeLessons making? So I'm really excited to share on behalf of our growth team just a few of their amazing initiatives to attract new students. First of them is Bing Answers. So if you're a Chrome user, I strongly encourage you to at least try out Edge. Their search engine is one of the top drivers of traffic to TakeLessons, and your classes and tutor profiles are the first result when students type in phrases like class, tutor, or teacher. Here's an example on the left of when we type in acting classes. It's the first result on the page. To boost your chances of meeting new students, be sure to have high quality images and taglines to grab the students' attention, and be sure it's related to the topic that you're teaching. And then on the next slide is a screenshot of MS365. So on, sorry about that, guys. So this is Microsoft Support Center for all of their products, including Excel and PowerPoint. And we were actually able to obtain top of the page ad space, as you can see in the screenshot here. It really can't get any better than that. The 365 team also recently asked us if we offer Outlook classes or group lessons. Those pages also get a lot of traffic, so we recently added Outlook as a new subject to TakeLessons in November. Once we see more teachers adding that subject to their profiles, we'll be able to show a similar ad on those support pages as well. And then next is Microsoft Rewards. Another perk to using Edge browser is their rewards program. So it pretty much allows users to earn points by surfing the web, and visiting our site is one of the many ways to rack up points. As you see here, one of the examples is if you click on this card to view our special offer of 50% off private lessons, you get 10 points. So we get a lot of traffic from this initiative as well. And then we switch out the subject in the offer, I believe, almost every month. All right, next is Microsoft Math Solver, another really cool tool offered in Microsoft Edge. It's a browser-based graphing calculator, so pretty much every student's best friend when they're doing homework. If the student's stuck on a question, they're just one click away from tutoring services from our awesome math teachers. Right now, we're currently promoting group classes to try and satisfy students who are looking for some instant help. And those are all the slides I prepared, but these are just some of the many ways that we are working to attract more students. To ensure our marketing efforts are maximized, we encourage you all to keep your availability updated for one-on-one students, and try to schedule your classes in advance and on a regular basis. So just like private lessons, it's much easier to retain a student if they can count on the classes being scheduled.
Awesome. Great things that we're doing across company wide, and these come at a low cost to us now that we're part of Microsoft, these placements and everything. So huge wins. And just to kind of put it into scope, these are millions of viewers that are coming in through these channels. So we're diversifying, and we're making sure that our name is in as many places as possible to get as much exposure to our teachers as possible. So a lot of things that we're doing to make sure that everything that we're we're striving for is going to be met. So great to see those kind of in writing and in slides, so to speak. Not necessarily writing, but I think we have one more question here. Let me just double check. What are ways to increase your discoverability? This is always a good question. Um, so as far as increasing your discoverability, um, there's so many things that you can do. You can schedule classes on a recurring basis, just like Clarissa said. You can switch up thumbnail images. So we find that one thumbnail image, just like your profile picture, may not attract different kinds of students. So feel free to switch those up and just kind of keep things looking fresh. Um, Making sure that you schedule back-to-back events is also something that we recommend. If students see that you're available multiple times during the day, they're more than likely to sign up for those lessons with you. And the more times you schedule a class, the more times you appear in the search results, the more times students are going to click on those classes, and it's just more and more exposure for yourself. So definitely some tricks that you can use to get your name out there and be more seen on the website, so to speak. And then, of course, there's always social media. If you want to advertise group classes, you have a share function on the group class creation page now where you can share those links out to anybody you might want to share those with outside of Take Lessons, your neighbor, your sister, your brother's wife, whoever might want to take a lesson with you. So really great opportunities for you to kind of get more exposure, get more students onto your roster. Um, like we always say, group classes is a great way to get introduced to students who are at the beginner level and then potentially convert them into a private student. So plugging your profile, making sure that they sign up for more lessons with you or a future group class with you. These are just many, sorry, a few of the many things that you can do to kind of make yourself more successful with group classes. And I think that is the end of the pre-prepared questions that we had. So let me take a look at our chat here and see if we have any other questions that we can answer. So let's see. There is a
Michael,
question. Go ahead.
oh, go ahead. Oh,
Oh,
Michael, I saw that question came in a little bit earlier when we were addressing the transition of Take Lessons Live subscribers over to a la carte.
mhm.
One of the questions was, how is this going to affect ESL, English as Second Language instructors, and can we expect any weekly pay students going forward? Happy to take that question. So there is still like market demand for students in the U.S. who want to improve their English. So we will continue to market to those students and promote a la carte. So you should expect some students coming to pay pay per student for English classes. So that's not all ESL learners are going to be directed to Take Lessons Live. Yeah.
Awesome. And there's some other questions here. Is there a standardized format for the way pay works for video watches? And how are you going to secure the website when people who don't even have an account can watch the videos for free? This is a great question. And this is something that we're still in discussion as a team. We do hope to have a standardized amount for videos at some point, and we will be sharing that with you in the months to come. Sorry, more like weeks to come. We're still kind of hashing out the details as a team and making sure that we have the numbers right to make sure that what we select is going to be a good amount. So more to come on that in the next couple of weeks, I would say, as far as what video payments are going to look like. We're revamping the video experience altogether as well. So that may look very different in the next coming weeks also. So keep an eye out for updates regarding the videos specifically.
Yeah, and if you were a video or group class earner in the month of January, you should have received an email this morning with a little bit more details. The email said that you could expect some more clarity about video earnings as soon as next week.
Awesome. And there's another one here that says there's no way to share files on Team the way it's set up. Is that going to be added soon? Um, It is a requested feature that we've put in, absolutely. Whether or not it's going to be added soon is more up to the team's team. Kind of weird to say that team's team than it is to our team, but we're definitely working with that team closely to see what features can be added onto Take Lessons so that everything is integrated nicely and it's the best experience that it could possibly be. Absolutely.
Good question. Another question in the chat. I recently tried to publish new videos in classes in a new category, I'm assuming subject, but discovered that this category is not available to students yet. I was under the impression that all subjects were made available a while ago. So when you're creating a new group class or uploading a new video, that should be discoverable in our searches within 10 minutes. So if you go to TakeLessons.com, go to that group class page or video page, that video should be discoverable. So if that's not the case, I'm happy to follow up with you offline and see what's going on there.
Awesome. And it might be just for context here, if you're signing into a student account that it has the Take Lessons Live membership experience, that's when you'll see only limited amounts of subjects. So what Clarissa is referring to exactly is doing a search on the home page on TakeLessons.com for whatever subject you're looking for. Those are still discoverable to everybody, every subject, every vertical that we have. So it might just be where you're looking at that information from.
Got
And
it.
then there's a question here that says, how are videos paid on Bing searches? Again, videos, more information about videos will become available next week. We do have sign-up walls in place to make sure that students are creating an account to get logged in and view these videos, and those are definitely paid. So we're still gathering some more information, making sure that everything's right before we give you any update on those. So make sure to keep an eye out for those updates in the next coming weeks here.
Awesome. And our amazing moderators are watching the chat to see if any other questions come in. So please post your questions. We have a couple more minutes to address them. I guess while we wait, Michael, do you want to share any of the exciting trainings that we have upcoming in March?
Yeah, absolutely. So in March, we are doubling down with our live trainings. On top of the monthly scheduled Take Lessons Live, we're also going to be doing additional trainings. We'll be having one on March 1st, another one on March 16th, and then a final training on March 29th, all regarding different aspects of the group class experience. So some invites will be sent out soon, and we'll start having a sign-up page for those be available for you. But super excited to be offering some additional trainings. We'll cover things like Clarissa mentioned earlier. We'll cover things like how to retain students, as well as how to schedule group classes, and even so far as to how to market these group classes yourself. So lots of great trainings in place for the month of March. So keep an eye out for those as they come down the line.
Yeah, and we're actually connecting with Take Lessons teachers who are actively teaching group classes. So they'll be sharing some of their tips on how they've succeeded while teaching.
Awesome. Let me just check the comments here.
I see a question. Can we now add any class without them being approved first? Correct. So we created a lot of great training materials for you to form your titles, descriptions, and images. And so there's actually no process for Take Lessons support representatives to review your content before it goes live and you can schedule it. That update came out December 1st.
Yeah. Can you explain how our content is licensed to and used by Take Lessons? Are group classes also recorded and subject to the licensing agreement? Do we fully own our content? So I'm going to kind of answer these in reverse. As far as do we fully own our content? Absolutely. You still own your content. So you can post that on other websites. You can use that in other places. We don't have an exclusivity clause with Take Lessons at all. So that is still your content. How your content is used by Take Lessons. We may use videos to upload to our YouTube channel to get more exposure to the videos. We even may use clips in in marketing promos, but we'll definitely be reaching out to you before we do any of that. Even though we do have those agreements in our terms of use, we still want to make sure that you're notified when your content is being used. So we will do our best to reach out to you if we're going to be using your content for anything so that you know what it's being used for. Are group classes also recorded? No, not unless you record the group class. You have to initiate the recording for the group class. And even then, like I said, we will reach out to you if we want to use that for any sort of material on our end.
All right, and I think we have time for just one more question. Is
Yeah.
there a way to have a set group class for a length of time where new people cannot join? So, if I'm understanding correctly, it seems like there is a need to stop allowing students to join a class after the scheduled start time. If that's the question, that's not a feature that we currently support today, but we can add it to the list and see what we can do in the future.
Excellent. So that is our 30 minutes for today. We are at time at the moment. So just want to take a second to thank everybody for joining and for all of your great questions. If we weren't able to answer your question, definitely feel free to reach out to us via email. Partnercommunity@takelessons.com is the best email to reach out to. We'll try and respond as fast as possible to make sure that your questions were addressed. And really appreciate everybody just taking the time out today to join us. Big special thank you to Clarissa as well. I know it's not easy as a PM to get on camera in front of all of our teachers. It's a little harrowing at times. So really appreciate you as well taking the time to come on and do this with me and really get down to the nitty gritty of the questions that are being answered here. So
It's a
if
pleasure. Thanks for inviting me, Michael.
absolutely anytime. Well, thanks everybody for joining, and we'll definitely keep you posted on the next one that we have going out. We're going to keep these AMAs rolling and keep the special guests coming. So we hope to see you all on the next one.
All right. Thanks,
Bye,
everyone.
y'all.